Good morning, Fish Nation. Good morning, Fish Report YouTube channel. Good morning, Texas A&M Aggies fans. Not a lot going on in the A&M world this week as there's a bye. That doesn't mean that there's not anything to talk about. Of course, the big news that we won't get into too much because I don't think it's news. A lot of people are trying to make it news. The LSU vacancy after the end of this college football season as Coach O, Ed Orgeron, is leaving LSU, supposedly a mutual parting of the ways. But I think we all can read into that a little bit, and we kind of know what's happening there ourselves. But, of course, Jimbo Fisher, Aggies head coach, has a history there, and the immediate knee-jerk reaction for Aggies fans, I think some LSU fans, some SEC football fans, and really college football media everywhere that's trying to stir stuff up is Jimbo Fisher to LSU. Well, of course, that's not going to happen. Jimbo Fisher's locked in through 2031 at Texas A&M, and he's being paid very well for it, and he literally gets a raise every single year of $100,000 just for staying at A&M. So he's not going anywhere. He's on record as saying he's not going anywhere. And I, for one, believe him. I don't think that's a story. I don't think that's an issue. But the Aggies, 6-2 overall now, as you hear my dogs. 6-2 overall now, 3-2 in SEC play. They've got their final 4 games coming up against Auburn, Ole Miss, Prairie View, and the struggling aforementioned LSU. One of these games I think is bigger than all the others. Of course, Auburn, they've kind of had an up and down season. They've won their last 4 games at Kyle Field or against the Aggies since the Aggies joined the SEC in 2012. And I don't think Auburn's going to be a walk in the park, but I don't think they're the Aggies' biggest test by any stretch. I don't think that Prairie View, obviously, is going to be a huge game. LSU might have some issues just because of what's going on down there with Coach O leaving. Literally, the Texas A&M Aggies play LSU in their last game with Coach O to finish the season. So there's going to be a lot of emotions going on down in LSU. Players theoretically playing for Coach O, trying to send him off with a win. That said, I don't think LSU is much of a challenge for A&M at all. It's a dysfunctional program. That's one of the reasons Coach O is leaving. Whether he was asked to leave or whether he quit, we may never know. Doesn't matter. But I don't see LSU on the field being much of an issue for the Aggies. So who does that leave? That's Ole Miss, the Ole Miss Rebels. That's a good team, boys and girls. I think they're better than what their record shows. I think that they are better than really I don't know if you've watched Ole Miss games. I have. I think they're better than what they've played on the field. They're 6-1 overall. So to say that they're better than their record, I know that's tough, but I really think they're 3-1 in SEC play. Matt Corral might be one of the best quarterbacks nationwide. Well, of course, he is one of the best quarterbacks nationwide. Clearly the best quarterback in the SEC right now. He's a Heisman candidate, and he's a Heisman candidate for a good reason. They've got a freaking high-powered offense because of Matt Corral. They are the third best offense in the country, not in the SEC, in the country, averaging 555 yards a game, 292 yards through the air, 263 on the ground. So they're a very evenly matched, very well-balanced offense. And I think they can, again, I'm not saying this is an Aggies loss. I think they can give the Aggies some fits because of the balance. We know how the Aggies can play the run game for sure. We've seen that all season, shutting down the run game of numerous opponents in 2021. Where I think we're going to have an issue is stopping Matt Corral and the passing game. If the Aggies defense can hold the Rebels to, 200 yards rushing, well, that's going to open up the passing game for potentially 400 yards passing for Matt Corral and the Rebels. So Also, of course, it's in Oxford, and it's not at Kyle Field, so they're not going to have the 12th man behind them like they've had in some of their blowout wins this season, some of their better wins. See Alabama this season. So, it could be an issue for the Aggies. And honestly, the whole point of this conversation is we know the Aggies have to run the table if they have any chance at making the SEC championship, playing in Atlanta in December. Of course, that's the goal. And over at allaggies.com, the Sports Illustrated site for the Texas A&M Aggies, I wrote about how thin the possibility is, what a long shot it is. Go check that at allaggies.com. All the great articles we've got over there about the Aggies season. I wrote that it was a roller coaster of a season, 3 straight wins, but you lost your quarterback, and then 2 conference losses, your first 2 conference games of the season. You're 3-2. God, you lost to Arkansas at AT&T Stadium, and then you lost to Mississippi State. Roller coaster of a season, and then you beat freaking Alabama at Kyle Field. The emotions can't be more up and down from that scenario. And now you're riding a 3-game winning streak. So the emotions are back up. Hopes are back high that the Aggies can do something. I don't see it happening because they need so much help from other teams. Alabama needs to lose. Mississippi State, you have a tie with them, but they own the tiebreaker. They need to lose another game, even if you win out. Ole Miss needs to lose, which if the Aggies can beat them, there you go. Auburn needs to lose. If the Aggies can beat them, there you go. There's just so many things that need to happen. And I think the more likely scenario is what happened in 2012 when the Aggies beat Alabama, is that Alabama runs the table after that and they go on to repeat as national champions. But the Aggies have a chance. So there's some reason to watch and be excited and involved in the rest of the season, the final 4 games. So we'll see what happens here. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment right down here, Fish Report Nation, Aggies Daily Blitz Nation here in the video section if you're watching the video. By the way, these are available in podcast form if you choose to listen that way or if you prefer that. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of your favorite podcast apps, or over at dspmediaonline.com. All of our great family of shows over there, sports-related stuff, different colleges, pro teams, fantasy football, stuff like that. So let me know what you think here in the comments section about the Aggies' chances if you're an Aggies fan. Fish Nation, again, thank you for welcoming us into the channel and being so gracious with your comments and your welcome messages. You can find me over here, right there, Twitter, at IndyCarTim. The show is at Aggies Daily. Just reach out to me at IndyCarTim. Find me on Facebook. Be happy to converse with you. We'll do it all again tomorrow on the Aggies Daily Blitz on the Fish Report YouTube channel. I am IndyCarTim. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.